Total War Saga Troy has its last DLC coming out on December 14th, and it focuses on two very interesting characters from the Iliad, Rhesus and Memnon. As thus, we will continue our series on which campaign should you play for Total War Saga Troy, and today we'll be focusing on the ruler of Thrace, Rhesus. If you'd like to watch the coverage on any of the other heroes, you can find that linked in the upper right corner as well as at the end of the video. And in this video, we'll quickly go over the campaign from turn 1 to discuss the unique mechanics and units of Rhesus' campaign. And just as with the other videos, this is not a guide on how to play the campaign, but rather a spoiler-free primer on what is included as well as an explanation of how the campaign plays out to give you an idea of whether or not it's the campaign for you. And in my typical fashion of upfronting the knowledge in this video, Rhesus is a very interesting campaign. It has a lot of very truly unique mechanics, such as the ability to pull worship from both the gods of Olympus and the old gods of Thrace. This will give you access to unique units, boons of the campaign map, or special bonuses to your agents or units when they fight on the battlefield. Also, Rhesus has his own resource that can be used to help with the aforementioned worship, or summoning a bunch of what are called countless hosts. These AI-controlled armies will help you defend your lands or screen out an enemy by harassing them until they come out of their settlements if you're on the offensive. With all that being said, Rhesus has some truly unique and awesome looking units too. His campaign is that of a unification, either by war or confederation, of the other Thracian cultural factions across the northern border of the map. And starting further north than any other hero, you'll find that you'll be hard-pressed to make a lot of early headway in your campaign. But if you enjoy a more diplomatic and defensive campaign, struggling to unite a fractured people, then you will have a lot of fun with this one. So that's the quick down and dirty breakdown of the Rhesus campaign. If that's all you wanted to know, feel free to head on out. But before you do, please don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe. I cannot tell you how much that helps the channel out. Lastly, if you've not yet pre-ordered or picked up this DLC or any of Troy's DLCs, you can do so using the Nexus link in my description and pinned comment. You'll get a Steam key directly from the developer, and it is a great way to support the channel. But let's get started on Rhesus' campaign in Is It Right For You in Total War Saga Troy. Taking a look at the starting screen, we can see where Rhesus starts on the map right here. Now, he is in that northernmost region of Greece, and like I said, he is the northernmost Greek, well, not Greek, but northernmost character on the Greek map. And it's interesting because historically, Thrace was a land that didn't have a set border. It was pretty much anything north of Thessaly down here. And on this map, you can see that Rhesus starts in what eventually becomes Macedonia, and the Scythians were at one point part of what was just considered Thrace. It's just like the northern lands where barbarians live. So you've got Rhesus right here on the map, and he starts with some friendly people to his east, just right there with Helenos. And he has two faction mechanics in the Countless Host and the Thracian Rituals. The Countless Host will allow him to summon unique host armies from your forest regions. You need to conquer more forest regions to gain access to more host armies. The host armies have low cost and upkeep but can be used for special tasks, and they cannot reinforce other armies or occupy settlements, well, until their 4th tier. And host armies are not counted towards your admin burden, which is quite nice. Then for the Thracian Rituals, you get the ability to basically dip into both the Thracian gods as well as the gods of Olympus. You do not have access to spy envoy and priestess agents. You can perform Thracian rituals, which provide you with different benefits, and you accumulate a devotion resource, which is important for some Thracian rituals and host armies. So basically, these two mechanics will work really well together because you need that one resource, devotion, which we'll show you in just a little bit. Now for the armies here, Rhesus' roster relies on strong early engagement and decisive charges. His units fight predominantly without shields, however. They have good charges, good armor piercing, and excellent morale. Rhesus has a strong shock infantry lineup and strong chariot presence. And it's very true. A lot of them have this very strong charge called Furious Charge, and he has special berserk units that we'll show off in just a little bit here. But he gets special warriors of Pangaean, and these guys have that Furious Charge like I was talking about, and a lot of AP damage with 155 damage, good melee attack and defense with some decent armor at 65, also immune to psychology right there. Oh no, Cossphere, that's Cossphere, sorry. Then we have the mares of Diomedes here, and these guys are pretty interesting because Diomedes is actually who kills Rhesus. Diomedes and Odysseus attack his camp at night, kill him, take his armor and his famous mares. So a very interesting little bit of history there for you from the Iliad. But again, they've got Furious Charge and this Barbed Whips capability, which will do damage to themselves, but keep their speed increased by 30%. They've got a nice amount of armor, very high damage, good charge bonuses you would expect from some chariot units. And he also gets he gets 3 special devoted units, and I think they're all right here. I think they're all right here. Devoted of Zalmoxis, which, like I said, these are these Berserk units I was talking about. They get Last Stand Berserk, so if they are below 20% health, they cause fear, and Berserk, this unit will go Berserk during the battle. This makes them uncontrollable. They will automatically attack nearby enemies. So very crazy, because they also get this Last Stand. It increases their melee defense by 20%, going up an extra 10 points. And this ability, Titanismos, I don't know, I don't speak Greek, so we're just going to go on from that. But it basically reduces melee attack and defense of enemies around in a 40-meter radius, so it allows them to really punch hard. But they're the ones that get immune to Psych, and they can also shoot while moving. They've got a nice little range attack there, 36 damage to some AP damage as well. And you get your Thorns of Thrace, which are a Javelin Chariot unit that can fire whilst moving, and it's got that same Barbed Whip capability with some good AP damage with them. Nice 36 ammunition too, and they're also Chariot units, so they're quite deadly. So, a very interesting character in Rhesus. Let's jump into the actual campaign himself and see how it plays out, because in the Iliad, he was a very kind of, not unimagined, but he never really got off the ground. He was supposed to come and help out Troy, and then was killed by Diomedes and by Odysseus before he could really do anything. So it's fun to see him in this game where you can actually take advantage of his mustering that he was supposedly doing in this northern Thracian portion of the map. So here we are at turn 1 for Rhesus, and as I've said before in the Memnon video, this is development in progress, so there is a chance that when the game actually fully launches, some of these numbers or statistics might change just a little bit. It's just me being transparent up front with you guys since this is early access. So let's take a look here at his faction mechanics. For the most part, everything is pretty much the same when we look at Divine Will or at that's Diplomacy, at Royal Decrees. We just kind of go right back over here to Rhesus at Royal Decrees. Everything for the most part is the same. There are some things here and there that give certain bonuses that you might be able to take advantage of, but for the most part, it's just the same stuff. And it is worth noting, of course, because when you looked at Memnon, everything was so different that it's just not the way here with Rhesus. But he does have these 2 special faction mechanics. The first one here is the Thracian Rituals, and this gives you access to 4 different types of rituals: Divine Offerings, Holy Sacrifices, Religious Mysteries, and then Sacred Initiations. And if we take a look at this, it says, the new Olympian gods know the value that war spoils hold for men and look favorably upon those who offer their loot at the holy altars. So, as you unlock this, so let's take a look over here at the offerings to Hera. So first off, you need to construct a building, the altar of Hera, to even do this. And then when you do it, or when you unlock it, you'll be able to basically take your post-battle spoils and offer them to Hera, thus giving you +2 devotion upon victorious battle and +20 to favor of Hera upon victorious battle. So basically just win a battle and that's what you're going to get. So this will progress though as you get further and further along your worship of Hera in the Divine Will. This will become stronger and stronger, allowing you to get different bonuses. And there are little check marks right here. So 1, 2, and 3. So you need the Temple of Hera, then you get more bonuses from this. So it just depends on, again, what you're doing, how much you're going to get, faction-wide, so on and so forth. But for the most part, it's always going to be 2 devotion. It's just different favor, right? So Temple of Zeus right there, Temple of Ares, just to kind of show these off very quickly. And it's just a great way to get favor. You're not going to get anything outside of that, but the devotion is very important. We'll show why that's important just a little bit. So that's all those. Now your next is Holy Sacrifices. And as this, the fearsome Thracian divinities should be called upon with caution. The safest way to approach them is by holy sacrifice in their name. So you sacrifice to this individual. It's going to cost those resources and your new one, devotion. So let's hover over this here. It shows us devotion is a measure of the Thracians' veneration for the dark, bloody gods of their wild homeland. It is required for the mighty countless hosts to be summoned from their ancestral woods, as well as for the numerous Thracian rituals, even the ones invoking the bright Olympians. So you use this resource in this screen as well as the next one we're going to show off in just a little bit. but these will give you certain bonuses. So 40% success chance to evade an ambush, and it gives you a nice bonus to your campaign movement. This one is going to help with casualty replenishment rate and fatigue. This one over here helps with recruitment and upkeep. You've got this one that's going to give you morale and replenishment for countless host armies. And then this other one is going to give you melee attack bonuses and morale for your own armies. You can see it's going to cost devotion for each and every one of these. So how do you get devotion? Well, you can get it, as you saw from these divine offerings. These are going to offer you devotion upon victorious battles. Or you can also do these religious mysteries. So basically, you initiate this religious mystery and it gives you 50% success chance of enemy actions, or minus 50%. Minus 50% to success chance of enemy actions, 100 to the experience of all garrison units per turn, and then 1 devotion per turn. And it lasts for 4 turns, as a 2-turn recycle. This one's pretty good. I use this one a lot because it gives me a recruitment rank of heroes and recruitment rank of all units, and then devotion of 2 per turn. And then as you go to this one, you'll need to build the Dolmen Shrine, which is the special building you can build in a main settlement. It's the top tier of it. And this is going to give you access then to these two, both of these special Thracian rituals in the religious mystery section, which just gives you happiness or wood construction cost reduction and influence. And this last one over here gives you resources bonuses as well as devotion. Now your last one is sacred initiations, and these are the ways that you get access to the mares of Diomedes or Diomedes, the devoted to Zalmoxis, which we did not see in the other. Oh no, we did sell these guys, and then the warriors of Pangaean or Pangaean. So these individuals are going to be the only way you're going to get access to these is by building the royal barracks or the great temple of the specific god that these guys are devoted to. And not every single main settlement can do it. So this one right here was, I believe was this great temple, or was this one? It's one or the other. Not every single main settlement has this. So you have to be able to get the right building placed, and then its secondary building here. So look, you can see here, effect +1 to devoted units available for recruitment, but you need the armory and then the great temple available in forest settlements, versus this one is available in farm settlements, which needs the chariot assembly and that great temple. So it just depends upon what settlement you're getting to build that great temple. You'll enact the ritual. Let's just go ahead and choose this one. And it'll cost you money. You're good to go. And you'll see over here that it's just going now for the next 4 turns. Now, in addition now, we've got the other special mechanic with countless hosts. So it says that you need forest dwellings. What does that mean? This is a forest dwelling. Any forest settlement is what it really means. So taking these will progress your, there's the one right here as well. This will progress your tiers of your countless hosts. As you can see here that this is just your basic one, provides 1 countless host army, and it progresses up to provide 2 with bonuses now. So it gives you health to all host units in host armies, income from raiding and sacking, and ambush success chance, all the way up here to giving a ton of other bonuses. At this point at tier 6, this is tier 6, you can, I think they can reinforce now. Yeah, so they can reinforce other armies and can be reinforced by other armies. They'll go to buildings or settlements that have altars to Hephaestus, and they will upgrade their own armor and weapons. It's a really cool little AI army that is now going to go around in your name and take specific actions. So this is the army. This is the available countless host units. I can build this out. I've got a certain number of available ones, however I want to do. All right, and that's just 1 host. I press summon. It's going to cost 4,000 food and 10 devotion, and it just does its thing. If I hover over this, it tells me more. I've got 3 different operations: offensive, defensive, and distractive. Offensive operations will basically go out and raid enemy territory, sack regions, essentially pull someone out of a settlement for you so you can go and attack them. It's not going to take any settlement for you. It's just going to basically cause enough trouble that the enemy has to put that host army down. Your other one is defensive operations, which is going to basically reinforce your own garrison that you have this countless army not positioned within, because they won't sit inside of a settlement. But basically they'll sit there and they will help attack anyone that goes and invades that region. Then lastly, distractive operations. They can be sent out away of the main theater of military operations, thus they will distract the foe and possibly can open the road for the main Thracian force. So again, they cannot occupy settlements or replenish normally. They can't reinforce battles until tier 6. So they are a very interesting AI controlled force, but it's one that can help you maybe sit there and say, hey, you know, I do want to take this location, but I can't because they've got 15 units in the garrison and then a 20 stack sitting on top of it. Well, you do the defensive operations, countless host, they'll go and start raiding and causing enough trouble that this 20 stack will leave that settlement, go and attack that unit. Or that army will just outright break itself against these walls, weakening it for you to go then and attack. So it's very hard to get the countless hosts up and running initially because it's such a steep cost out the gate. But once you really get a couple of these going, it can really make the campaign a lot easier for you because your units are not that stalwart in the beginning of the Rhesus campaign. He has units that are not overly durable, and it takes him quite a long time to get to those. You can see here all these guys have very low armor. You do get giant vanguards, which is nice. But even looking over here, go to a building browser, you don't get like worshippers of Pan until tier 4, and you can't even make them in your first one, right? Or where are these guys? These Thracian Guard, which are super strong, but again, can't make them right out the gate. Even the Plainsman, which is your tier 3 unit, is just not a very durable one. So you use these countless hosts to kind of help weaken your enemy, or at least create some havoc so that you can jump in and do some serious damage. It's a really cool mechanic of Rhesus. Now looking at the actual character himself, you can see that he is a defender, right? So he's not going to be taking names like Memnon is, but he'll still be at least competent in combat, and he'll be able to hold the line as well as buff up your units. He gets a number 2 of a unique special skills here, like Zealot of the Old Gods, which gives you devotion when a religious mystery ritual is triggered. But you can also do this, punishment per turn for countless host armies, or upkeep reduction to elite units for sacred initiations. You can also do this too to help out with divine offerings that you do within that same menu of your special mechanics. Morale for all units in countless host armies, or morale to all Thracian elite units. So you can kind of say, hey, I want to go really heavy into host armies. I'm going to take one of these 2 skills, or I really want to buff up my sacred or my unique units. I can go one of these 2 skills. There's another one down here. There we go. Prayer to Zalamoxis. This is going to help out too as well with making your unit expendable, which is very interesting, right? So you're going to tack onto a unit. It becomes chosen, reduces its armor by 20%, and then it becomes expendable, and it encourages everyone around it. You can then make it so that the unit has more morale or has more melee attack. So it's a very interesting skill that you can choose. The alternative one over here is False Portent, which is going to basically reduce enemy morale. You can do more morale, or you can do, what is this one? The difference? Oh, it's a radius, that's right, okay. So you can just basically hinder their morale with the opposite. So those are the unique ones I wanted just to quickly point out for Rhesus, because they're very thematic and they play along with the style of character and the style of units that he gets access to. So the Rhesus campaign itself is very straightforward as far as what you're going to be doing, right? You're in this northern portion and you're trying to unite all of the Thracian cultures to do some damage to the Danaans way down south here, because you are allied with Troy. Diplomacy, that's where I wanted to go. So as thus, start with our attitude. You can see that we already start with good standing with a Trojan bro right here, but with Troy itself we already have friendly and improving, and you've got these other Thracians over here. So taking advantage of that really strong relationship with Troy allows you to get some really good trade going as far as any possible resources you might need to help kind of push you over that edge. You're going to find that this campaign is really about trying to deal with any opposition up here, while at the same time trying to unify portions of the Thracian culture that want to unite. Some of them are going to be really opposed to you trying to do what you want to do, and you'll be fighting against them a lot of the time in this campaign. But overall, you'll find that this campaign is very interesting in that it is going to be a bit of a slower burn for you, because you're playing a character that is a little more defensive, and he relies on a lot of other mechanics to pull your enemy's attention apart, like I said, through those countless hosts and other fun things from the Rhesus campaign. And at that, it brings our video here to a close. Now, we've covered both Memnon and Rhesus in their own respective videos. Rhesus is a little bit harder than Memnon just because Rhesus's campaign is, like I said just a second ago, a slower burn. But if you do like that slower, more tall build of a campaign, Rhesus is definitely going to be the one for you. And having the ability to create so much havoc for your opponent, the bigger and bigger you get with your countless hosts, allows you to have a lot of moving parts on the battlefield, or I'm sorry, on the campaign map, without having to manage them. And I think that's probably the best part about Rhesus's campaign. This allows you to have this strong northern Thracian empire without having to manage a bunch of armies individually. You'll have your main one plus maybe one or two, but the other ones won't draw from your admin, so you can have them doing a lot of damage for you as you expand your borders. So hopefully this gave you a good breakdown of Rhesus's campaign in Total War Saga Troy. If you have any questions or concerns, or maybe you just don't understand a certain mechanic, go ahead and let me know in the comment section below. I will do what I can to help out. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching here today. Have a good one and take care.